My name is Olivia. I've been married to my husband James for 3 years, and we're expecting a baby soon. But ever since I got pregnant, James has been acting a bit strange. Morning sickness has been really tough on me right from the start of my pregnancy. Instead of showing concern, James would say,
"Hey, aren't you being a bit lazy?"
without a hint of worry. I'm struggling with morning sickness. Give me a break.
Pregnancy isn't an illness, you know. What about dinner?
I can't even think about making dinner with this morning sickness.
Useless. Fine, I'll go eat out.
What about me?
If you're going to slack off, then fend for yourself.
I can't believe this. At this point, James was the one working, and I was dependent on him. That's how I felt. I used to work before getting pregnant, but I had to take a leave of absence because the morning sickness was unbearable. Luckily, my workplace was understanding and allowed me to take parental leave, which was a big relief. When James came home, he seemed to have had a few drinks and yelled,
"The master is home."
"Stop it, you're disturbing the neighbors."
Hey, I'm the one supporting you here.
I told you, I'm just taking a break because of the morning sickness.
Must be nice being a woman. Just say you have morning sickness, and you don't have to do anything. I wish I could get pregnant and take a break.
I was really angry and said, "You have no idea how hard this is for me."
Yeah, I don't. Someone who sleeps all day wouldn't understand how hard my job is.
I used to work too, you know.
But now you're a housewife.
That's not the point.
Ugh, you're annoying. You're ruining my buzz. I'm going to bed.
With that, he cut off the conversation and went to the bedroom. But the next morning, he was completely different and apologized, saying,
"I'm sorry.
Did you say those things because you were drunk?"
I had quite a bit to drink."
That's no excuse.
I didn't mean it. I was just drunk.
It still hurts to hear those things.
I'm really sorry. I mean it.
Don't do it again. This kind of thing happened a few times, but as time went on, James's behavior got worse. Especially noticeable was how he would criticize the difference in status between my family and his.
You should be grateful to my family. Our child will be the heir, after all.
What do you mean?
My prestigious family compared to your average salaryman family. There's no comparison.
Is lineage really that important these days?
You don't get it. Noble blood has its own value.
Isn't what you're doing now and how you grow more important?
That's why you're hopeless,
he said, dramatically waving his hands in a dismissive gesture. But the truth is, his family is just an average salaryman family too, and they're not even part of a big corporation. In fact, when it comes to the companies we work for, my family's is higher up. I never really thought about the social standing of our families, but it seemed to matter a lot to James. Besides, when we were both working, I actually earned more than he did. I didn't really understand what he meant by status. So you're saying that no matter how hard I work and earn, it doesn't matter because of my lineage?
That's right.
What about people who built huge companies in one generation, like Steve Jobs?
Stop it. You're just making excuses.
I think it's a valid point.
No, it's an excuse. This is why people with ordinary backgrounds are...
You married this ordinary person, remember?
I did you a favor by marrying you.
At that, I was visibly angry, and he seemed to realize he'd gone too far and quickly left the room. He wasn't like this before I got pregnant. What happened to him? Should I get a divorce? I thought about it, but with a child on the way, I couldn't bring myself to leave him. Besides, I thought he might go back to being the man I married once the baby was born. I thought so. On the day of the delivery, he was at the hospital but got kicked out of the room by the nurse for saying things like,
"It can't be that painful,"
and
This is taking too long. Can I go to sleep?
After that, I couldn't bring myself to see him, and he didn't meet our child until I was discharged. During that time, he sent messages like,
The nurse kicked me out. Where should I go? What about my dinner? Has the baby been born? If I can't see them, I don't need to come, right? The baby looks like me, not like you at all, LOL.
That's when I seriously started considering divorce. But what held me back were my in-laws. They are wonderful people. As soon as the baby was born, they called to say, "We're so glad everything went well. How are you feeling?"
Take it easy. Do you need anything? We can send it over if it's not a bother.
They've always been so kind to me, even more so than my own parents. The thought of taking their grandchild away from them made it hard to go through with the divorce. I invited them to the hospital to meet their grandchild, and they were delighted. They came, all the while concerned about my well-being. Congratulations, Olivia. The baby is adorable.
Oh, absolutely. Our first grandchild. Thank you, Olivia.
I'm glad you could see your grandchild. By the way, where's James? I couldn't tell them the truth about James's terrible behavior, so I said, he's busy with work.
That man, I swear.
He should take some time off for such a happy occasion. Well, he has to work.
True. We'll need the money now more than ever.
Please let us know if he does anything wrong. I wanted to tell them everything, but seeing their joyous faces as they looked at their grandchild, I couldn't bring myself to do it. I will. Melissa, my mother-in-law, seemed to sense something was off. Are you okay? You look tired. Is something wrong? I felt tears coming and started to cry. Is it related to James not being here today? Women's intuition is sharp. I began to open up. Actually, I've been struggling with James's behavior since I got pregnant.
Really? Don't hold back. Tell me.
He said I was lazy when I had severe morning sickness. He even said he wished he could slack off, too. I'm not slacking off.
Oh, my. I told him how bad my morning sickness was. He doesn't understand anything. Calling a pregnant woman with morning sickness lazy.
Even during childbirth, he was so terrible that the nurses kicked him out. I didn't want to see him, so I didn't call him. I see.
Unbelievable. I'll give him a piece of my mind.
Daniel was visibly angry, his face red. But I'm hoping he'll go back to the way he was once the baby is born. I thought maybe it's just a case of the baby blues. So for now, please let it be.
You're very kind, Olivia. If Olivia says so, we'll leave it for now. But if he acts up in front of us, we're taking you home. No questions asked.
That's fine with me. And if anything else happens, don't hesitate to tell us.
Exactly. Your and the baby's well-being is what matters most.
My in-laws said this and gently squeezed my hand. With these two around, I can make it through. And my husband should go back to being himself. That's what I thought as I was discharged from the hospital. But he never changed. When I got home, he said,
"Finally back, huh? Hogging the baby all to yourself. This is my heir, you know."
"It's because of your attitude."
Oh, already in a bad mood. That's not good for the child.
He was fine when my parents came to celebrate the birth, but reverted back as soon as they left. Seeing this, I knew he was doing it on purpose. About 2 weeks after giving birth, Melissa contacted me. "We'd like to come over for a baby celebration this Sunday. Are you up for it?" "I'm fine, thank you."
"Don't worry about us."
"How about we have lunch together?"
"Oh, we couldn't impose. We'll bring lunch."
"Thank you."
"It's no problem. We're coming to your home after all.
You should take it easy for a meal. Melissa. See you then. After ending the call with Melissa, I told my husband, Melissa and the others are coming for a baby celebration this Sunday.
All right. Make sure to entertain them properly.
You're not going to help?
I'm the man of the house. I don't need to.
I'm tired from just giving birth.
If it's that serious, you should have stayed in the hospital. You're discharged, so you're fine. You're just exaggerating.
I can't believe,
Like I've said, pregnancy isn't an illness. Just get everything ready.
With that, he left for work. I did the bare minimum cleaning and prepared coffee, waiting for Sunday. On the day of the celebration, unfortunately, my husband had work in the morning and would join us in the afternoon. My in-laws arrived and immediately began fussing over me. How are you feeling? You're not pushing yourself, are you?
If you're sleep deprived, you can leave the baby with us and rest.
Thank you. Then they looked at the baby and said,
The baby was cute when born, but has gotten even cuter. The eyes are just like Olivia's. Maybe the nose is from James.
Seeing them so happy made me feel good, and for the first time since the baby was born, I felt at peace. Around lunchtime, we decided to eat as the baby was asleep. Daniel brought out some appetizers and said,
Eat whatever you want. Don't worry about us.
The celebration is also for the new mom, you know. Melissa, Daniel, thank you. Just as we were enjoying our meal, my husband came home.
I'm back. Mom, Dad, welcome. It's been a while.
How have you been? As the greetings were exchanged, my husband noticed the appetizers on the table and yelled at me.
Hey, my parents are here, and you bought this cheap stuff? How many times have I told you pregnancy isn't an illness? Stop slacking off.
I was shocked. I never thought he'd say such a thing in front of my in-laws. He then turned to them and said,
Sorry, Mom and Dad. She's not very thoughtful. I'll have her make something else right away.
When I looked at my in-laws, Melissa looked surprised, and Daniel was clenching his fists, looking down. My husband misunderstood their reaction as anger towards me and continued,
See? Get moving. Ever since she got pregnant, she's been like this, always claiming morning sickness and slacking off. I never thought she'd be this kind of woman.
After about 5 minutes of his rant, Daniel had had enough.
Did you say the appetizers were cheap? Yes, I did. Sorry about that. She probably got them from the local supermarket.
Unable to bear it any longer, I interjected. Actually, Daniel bought those.
What? Stop lying.
He bought them from a department store's food section. Sorry they're not up to your standards.
You...
Realizing he was at a disadvantage, my husband's face fell apart.
No. I thought Olivia bought them.
Even so, how could you say such things to a woman who just gave birth?
I didn't raise you to be like this. But she's been slacking off.
That's not true. I've been dealing with severe morning sickness and physical limitations.
That's no big deal.
Melissa chimed in. What are you saying? I told you I was hospitalized due to severe morning sickness when I was pregnant with you.
But she didn't need to be hospitalized, so she's fine. You don't get it. Pregnancy is tough. And who do you think was carrying your child? Olivia.
My husband looked flustered, his face turning various shades. I went to my room and returned with a diary and divorce papers. I would have reconsidered if you'd behaved in front of your parents. This diary contains everything you've said to me. It's enough evidence for a lawsuit.
That could be fabricated. After what you did in front of us, that's unlikely. We'll support Olivia if she goes to court.
Daniel.
I can't believe you're my son. I don't want to think of him as my son anymore. Really?
Hey, Olivia, would you let us re-educate him?
Maybe we messed up his upbringing in the first place.
Melissa,
Look, if we're the ones who messed up, let us try to fix it. If it doesn't work, you can divorce him. We'll cut ties too. Even you, Mom?
all right. James, be grateful to Daniel and Melissa. I'll wait until your re-education is complete. If there's no improvement, then we'll divorce.
Answer me!
Startled by Daniel's loud voice, James stiffened and muttered a faint, "Yes." So now we're separated. My in-laws occasionally check on me and update me on how James is doing. Apparently, they're teaching him how to cook now. It turns out James acted the way he did because he felt inferior to my income and was mocked by his colleagues. He took his boss's advice to strike while the iron is hot. Too literally. Even after hearing this, I can't forgive him. My in-laws aren't ready to forgive him either, so it looks like his re-education will continue for a while. After some time, I received a message from my husband.
Lately, I've been doing all the housework after coming home from work. When I complained about being tired, my colleagues laughed at me when I told them why. They said I'm soft and my parents are strict. So, could you tell my parents to ease up? They seem to listen to you more, and if you say it, they might forgive me.
I quietly forwarded the message to Melissa and Daniel. You are the company you keep, they say. It seems the environment was toxic for James. If he doesn't change his ways soon, it looks like we'll be divorcing before our child even gets to see their dad's face.